let me take a few minutes here to unpack everything and just share my thoughts on it all. Kind of walk through what happened, what Caleb said, how he handled it, and why I think this whole situation, though a bit of a storm, might actually have shown us something meaningful about who he is. Caleb Williams, in his initial statement addressing the report and speculation around his visit to Minnesota, said, "The whole storm that happened, it wasn't something we wanted to happen. At this point, we're focused on the present. We're focused on getting this ship in the right direction." So far, that's what we've been doing. For this to come out has been a distraction. So coming out and addressing it is important. And I thought, man, that's mature. That's a young quarterback, only a year into the league, understanding that sometimes leadership means you just have to take ownership, even when it's not your mess to clean up. You just have to face it and set the tone for how the team is going to carry itself moving forward. He went on to say he had a good visit with Minnesota, and he was transparent about it. I had a good visit at the other place, Minnesota, with Kevin O'Connell. Good stuff, good staff, and all of that. He just won Coach of the Year, good staff, and things like that. And what I appreciated here wasn't just the honesty. It was the lack of defensiveness. He could have brushed it off, or gotten cagey about it, or even said nothing at all. But he didn't. He owned it. He was like, yeah, I met with the Vikings. I liked it. He gave Kevin O'Connell his flowers, called him smart, acknowledged what Minnesota has going on with Justin Jefferson, Jordan Addison, his college teammate, along with a strong offensive line. And yeah, when you think about it from a purely football standpoint, that's an appealing place for any quarterback, let alone a guy coming out of college with all the talent in the world and trying to land in the best spot to grow and succeed. Said it when this first came out, and I'll say it again. Who wouldn't have at least been intrigued by what Minnesota had to offer? But what's important here, what keeps getting lost, is the sequence of events. Caleb went on that visit first. He met with Minnesota. He saw what they had. But then he came to Chicago, and then he went home, and he talked to his dad, and they made a deliberate, determined decision. He wanted to be in Chicago. That wasn't something that just happened. It was a choice, and a bold one at that. Because let's be honest, Chicago has not exactly been a quarterback-friendly franchise. No 4,000-yard passes, decades of struggles at the position. It's a city that's passionate about football, but has been burned over and over again. So to look at all that and still say, yeah, I want to be the guy to turn that around, that speaks volumes. He said it himself. It's a challenge to come in here and try to be part of the reason why the Chicago Bears changed the narrative, why they shift the direction of the franchise. And it wasn't just about being drafted number one or being handed the keys. He saw something in the opportunity, that desire to be part of the solution, to take the weight and wear it with pride. That's the mindset you want from your quarterback. He said the end of the article was the most important part, and I agree. He said, I wanted to be here. I love being here. I love my teammates. I love all the people who got me here. Family, friends, Kevin, Ryan Flaherty, Shane Waldron, and all of the guys who went through that process with me. That was genuine. That was a young man speaking from the heart. And you know what? He didn't have to say that. He didn't have to name drop Waldron or Eberflus. Let's be real. No one's been harder on those two guys than Bears fans. And I get it. Eberflus didn't look like a great head coach. Waldron, maybe with a veteran QB and a legend like Pete Carroll, did okay in Seattle. But here, the offense was underwhelming. It didn't work. And yet Caleb still went out of his way to say a shout out to everyone who helped get me here. That's a touch of class. That's maturity. He had already said enough, but he chose to say more and not more in a defensive trying to fix the narrative kind of way, but in a let me give credit where it's due kind of way. That matters. That shows me who he is. I thought he absolutely aced it today. The whole press conference, he went up there and instead of fielding every little question like landmines, he just laid it all out. Just calmly went through it, explained the timeline, acknowledged the rumors, took the air out of it, and then pivoted firmly to what matters: football, winning, accountability. When asked about his dad, he handled that with grace too. Someone asked him, a bit inappropriately, in my opinion, does your dad speak for you? And look, I get what they were trying to ask, but that's not how you phrase it. You want to ask, how much influence does your dad have in your decisions? Fine. But does your dad speak for you? That's borderline disrespectful. And Caleb just smiled, chuckled even, and said, no, he doesn't. I'm a grown man. He's smart. He's passionate. He'd do anything for me. But I shut him down sometimes. There's a time and a place for everything. Again, that's composure. That's self-awareness. He sounded like a franchise quarterback. He carried himself like one. And honestly, it's clear the media isn't going to be something that overwhelms him. You could tell he's already grown from the kid he was a year ago. This isn't new to him anymore. He's been the face of a team. He's been through the spotlight, the questions, the scrutiny. And sure, adversity might still come. There will be tough losses, bad performances. But what I saw today was a guy ready to shoulder the responsibility, not just for his own performance, but for the entire team's trajectory. He said he doesn't care what else comes out in the article when the full piece drops in September. And I believe him. He's focused on the now, on the work, on the process, and that's what the Bears need. That's what we all need to stop getting caught up in headlines and drama and start building something real. They brought him here for a reason, and he came here for a reason. And now it's time to go, to start winning, to start grinding. And yeah, on the field today, maybe it wasn't his best day. Couple picks, some mistakes. That's fine. It's May. It's OTAs. This is when you try things. When you push the limits, when you test windows and timing. Don't want him playing. Scared. Don't want him holding the ball forever because he's afraid to make a mistake. You'd rather he let it rip now. Learn from it. Adjust. Grow. So no, I'm not concerned about a couple of interceptions in late May. Not at all. In fact, I'd be more concerned if he wasn't taking any risks. The point of this time of year is to get the reps in, build chemistry, and start forming the habits that will carry into training camp and then the season. And when mandatory minicamp comes next week and the media is allowed to watch all 3 days, we'll get a clearer picture. For now, I just wanted to see how he handled this moment, how he handled the noise. And today, he passed that test with flying colors. Now, shifting from the podium to the field, what I saw during today's practice told me just as much, if not more, about what this team is becoming. Yeah, Caleb had a few rough plays, a couple of picks. One over the middle, another one on a timing throw. But what impressed me wasn't perfection. It was his demeanor after. The way he just jogged back, nodded at his receiver, talked it through, and got back in the huddle. That's what you want. You don't need a quarterback who never makes mistakes in May. You need one who knows how to respond when he does. There was no panic, no throwing his helmet, no blame game. Just, all right, let's line up and go again. That's leadership. And it ripples through the team. You could feel it. Guys weren't hanging their heads. They were talking, communicating, staying locked in. Rome Odunze had a couple of real nice catches, one across the middle where he took a hit and bounced up like nothing happened. You see the toughness already. You see the chemistry starting to form. Keenan Allen, as expected, was sharp and reliable. DJ Moore looked smooth. This isn't a one-man show. This is a group that's learning how to move together, and it's not just the receivers either. The offensive line looked focused, especially on those inside zone runs. You can tell there's an emphasis on timing, on rhythm, on making sure the offense flows. And on the other side of the ball, their defense is fast, physical, dialed in. Montez Sweat is a problem. His get-off is elite. It's one thing to see a guy's stat sheet, but watching him in person, you understand what a game wrecker looks like. And the linebackers, Tremaine Edmonds, TJ Edwards, they're flying around, reading plays before they develop. There was a rep where they completely sniffed out a screen, and it was like the whole unit had read the same book. Jaquan Brisker had a nice break on a ball too. You get the sense that this unit isn't just playing, they're communicating, anticipating, trusting each other. That's what makes good defenses great. Before we continue, don't forget to subscribe to our channel and give this video a like. Your support helps us keep bringing you the latest updates on our Chicago Bears. And don't be shy, drop your thoughts on the news in the comments below. Whispers are swirling through the NFL landscape, and the Windy City might just be about to become a fortress on defense. Rumors are heating up that Aaron Donald, the dominant defensive tackle known for his relentless pass rush and game-changing presence, could be on the verge of signing with the Chicago Bears. Sources close to the matter suggest that Donald is ready to bring his ferocious style to Soldier Field, promising a hunt for quarterbacks that could reshape the Bears' defensive identity. For years, Donald has been the cornerstone of the Los Angeles Rams' defensive line, terrorizing offensive lines and disrupting offenses with surgical precision. His arrival in Chicago would mark a seismic shift, potentially elevating the Bears' defense to elite status. The buzz among insiders is that Darnold is attracted by the Bears' storied history and the chance to lead a defensive resurgence in one of the NFL's toughest markets. It's believed that the team is offering a lucrative contract package that reflects Darnold's status as one of the best defensive players in the league, signaling their intention to build a defense around his unique skill set. The speculation is that Darnold's presence would not only intimidate opposing quarterbacks, but also energize the entire defense, creating an atmosphere of aggression and dominance. His ability to penetrate offensive lines and sack QBs could be the missing piece the Bears need to climb back into playoff contention. Fans and analysts alike are buzzing about the potential impact, imagining a defensive line anchored by Darnold that forces quarterbacks into uncomfortable situations game after game. While no official announcement has been made, the murmurs are persistent, with insiders noting that Darnold himself has expressed excitement about joining a team with passionate fans and a strong defensive tradition. The phrase "hunt for quarterbacks" seems to capture his mindset perfectly, a promise of relentless pressure and disruption that could turn Chicago into a nightmare for opposing offenses. If the deal comes to fruition, the Bears would instantly become one of the most feared defensive units in the league. The addition of Aaron Donald could also attract other defensive talents eager to play alongside a superstar, further bolstering Chicago's chances of building a championship caliber. Defense. The city is already abuzz with anticipation, and the possibility of Darnold donning the navy blue and orange jersey has ignited a spark of hope among Bears supporters hungry for a return to dominance. For now, it remains a tantalizing rumor, a tantalizing prospect that could redefine the Bears' defensive future. As the NFL offseason unfolds, all eyes will be on Chicago, waiting to see if the wall known as Aaron Donald will soon be protecting the Windy City's gridiron once again. That's it for this update. If you enjoyed the video and want to stay updated with exclusive news about our Chicago Bears, be sure to subscribe to our channel and hit that like button. We can't wait to hear your thoughts in the comments. See you in the next video.